Retri with another video, and today I'm gonna be digitally painting the drawing of two Space Marines and a NID I did in an earlier video. So if you want to see how I did the drawing, go back and watch that video. And yeah, as you can see, I start with a sketch, and then I just do the colors. The black for the black Templar Marine, and the red on the NID, and every color is on a separate layer, so I can go in and just paint that layer. And then here I go and do the symbols, and I use the warp tool to get them around the shoulder pads. And then once I have that done, I go into all the separate layers and paint in the highlights and the shadows. And here on the Marine you can see it's pretty light still, so later I go in and darken it up a lot more. And yeah, I probably shouldn't have done it that way, because it doesn't look that much like metal as it should. So yeah, next time I'll do it different. But yeah, so here you can also see how not to do it. Yeah, also I smoothed the highlights. They're a bit too smooth, the transitions. And yeah, I go in and paint all those. Yeah, and I do that for the Black Templar, and then later I do it for the NID and for the guy in the background as well. And another thing I did wrong here is the background. I started off with just a placeholder background, just one color, and yeah, that doesn't really work. So later I have to fix it, and then I don't like how I fix it, so I fixed the background again. So I spent a lot of time on the background, and in the end I didn't really like it the way it came out. And here I do the bolts on the Space Marine, so I just do one ball and color that in, and then I copy paste it around. And near the edge I distort the little ball so it fits from the perspective. And I do that for all the bolts on both of the Space Marines. And then I go in and paint a back highlight to make it look more like metal. So I took here a pink, but you can take another color if you want. And yeah, that's also the problem. It doesn't really, that background or that backlight color should have fit to the surface, the background, basically the ground that he's standing on. But then I would have had to make like a red or a pink ground, which I first did, and then later I deleted it because it didn't look good. And yeah, I do that on both the Marines. I don't do it on the NID because I don't want him to look that much, or I don't want him to look like metal. So yeah, Black Templar is a cool army. If I wasn't a Dark Angel player, I probably would have started them, but I started in 2nd edition, and Black Templars, they came in 3rd edition. But yeah, I don't know if they're back in 9th edition, if they're any good right now. But yeah, I did a lot of conversions back in the day with Black Templars, even a Black Templar Titan. It's also on my channel. If the video's still up, you can watch that if you haven't seen it. Yeah, here I'm painting the NID. Yeah, I should have done a lot of that different, because I'm shading one way and then I'm shading another way from the directions. Should have shaded in one direction on both sides of the armor plate there. Oh yeah, NIDs are a nice army as well. I should have painted in more NIDs, but I really couldn't be bothered because that took ages to paint that stupid NID, especially all the teeth in the mouth. And yeah, another thing is I started off the original drawing is a high format, and now it's a vertical format, so I had to like move the Marine in the background over to the left and make the whole thing wider, and then move the NID up a little bit and to the side, and I moved them a couple of times because I wanted to have a wide format for purpose of the video, so you can see more. Because a high format, like, you always have to like zoom over it to properly see it, or you have a small and have half the screen black. So that's why I did that. And yeah, I'm painting in the teeth here, the nid, and I'm going in and fixing them back up. I do that several times, and at one point, yeah, here I start painting the outlines, which I don't know if that was like a good call to because I went pretty black with the outlines. I probably shouldn't went that dark. But in the end, I darkened the whole image down quite a lot, so you don't see it that much. And yeah, this takes forever. This is like the footage is sped up already, like probably 400 times. Probably gonna speed it up even more. So here I do the flames. So what I do is make a new layer, and I paint in flames in a bright yellow, and then I click the layer, give it a glow ability, so the whole layer glows. And then I copy paste that layer and put it on top of itself, and then turn up the brightness so I get white instead of yellow flames, and then I put another glow effect on that layer. So that gives me nice flames, and in the end I go in with the Dodge Burn tool and add another layer, and then click on the flames to make them glow even more. So at some point I use a stencil tool to delete out a few pieces in the lower parts of the flame to make it look more a little bit like explosions. And then yeah, here I paint in the eyes of the Space Marine and do the outlines to give his face more contrast. The downside of that is, like I said before, is looks a bit comic-y. So I probably wouldn't do it the same way a second time around. Yeah. Paint the eyebrows and the cheeks. I use the dodge tool a lot to darken up the face even more, and the neck part to darken that up, and then to also desaturate it again. Because the dodge tool is just a faster way of like doing darkening up the picture or lightening it up in places. I do like a beard for him as well, and turn down the opacity of that layer to really low. Yeah, and then I go and paint the chains of the chainsword. So I paint one spike, and I make sure that's nice and round, and then I give the layer an ability to bevel, so it has a shadow on one side and a light on the other side. And then I paint in some more shadow. And what I do then is add a little bolt there, and then I just copy paste them around all around the chainsword. So that saves me the time of painting every spike in the chainsaw one by one. Also, I need them to scale a little bit, so I'm copying them around and then turning them, and then to the front of the chainsword they're scaled up a little bit. Yeah, and then I wanted to copy it to the top, but now the spikes are pointing in a different direction, so I have to like move them all around individually. And yeah, once I have that finished, I paint like the rest of the chainsaw there, the little exhaust thingy bob, and the gold handle and all that stuff. And here you can see I go in and do some more outlines on the Space Marine armor and clean up like the edges and stuff. Darken up in some places. And yeah, here another thing is I do the little buckles on the chest of the Space Marine. So I do two lines, one black, one in the color I did the highlight in, so light brown, and then I copy them around and distort them with the warp tool, so they fit to the buckles. So that gives the impression of it being intersected. And I don't have to paint in everything by each buckle line by hand, because you won't get it straight. So then in the end I add blood, and you can see here I show how all the layers are made up. So the layer with the Space Marine, and the layer with the blood, and the layer with chainsword, and the layer with the Nid, and then one layer with flames. And then after that I merge all the layers down. I changed out the background and the foreground, the ground basically, and put in a sky, and yeah, in the end I darken it up a bit more than you see here. And yeah, that's it. Hope you liked this video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, and yeah, share this video if you liked it a lot. And yeah, check out my channel for other Black Templar conversions I did ages ago. Black Templar Titan, and the Terminator Squad, and all kinds of good stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching.